Hi, this is Tom from Vantage Mat. In this video, we're looking at how you can calculate the surface area of a cylinder, much like this Ovaltine can right here. So in this video, we're going to have 3 different examples, and we'll break it down step by step how you can find the surface area, which is basically all the areas that you can touch on the outside. So all that's coming up next on the Land of Math. All right, when finding the surface area of a cylinder, we got 3 examples to really go through these. Each of these examples will break down all the steps we need to solve for surface area. So our first one is the Ovaltine container. So we're going to find the diameter of our base, which happens to be a circle, and it's 13 centimeters. Next, we're going to find the height of the cylinder, in this case, 11.5 centimeters. It's important to understand that there's really kind of like 3 parts to the cylinder. We have our 2 circles, which are our bases, and then we have the part that wraps around, and it actually is a rectangle. So when we're looking at our circle, which is our base, we're really kind of focused on the diameter, and we know that the diameter is 13 centimeters. Our radius is always half the diameter, so it's 6.5 centimeters. So what our goal is to find the area of the circle, and the way we find area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So 6.5 is our radius, so we're going to go pi times 6.5, and then we'll square it. When we do that, that's going to give us the area of the circle. So in this example right here, we went 3.14 times 6.5 squared, we get 132.665. Now that's the area of the circle. Well, step 2 is to find the area of the other circle. It's going to be the same thing. You don't have to change anything. So we already know the area of 2 of our 3 shapes. The area of the first one, and then the area of the second circle. So now we just have to find the area of the rectangle. And again, I forgot to put those down. The 6.5, that represents our radius. So now we need to find the dimensions, first of all, of the rectangle. Now, the height of our rectangle is the height of our cylinder, which was 11.5. But here's the part that really messes most people up. This distance right here across the rectangle, right across there, if you would take your rectangle and curl it up, you can see that what was the top of that now forms a circle. That circle around it is the length of this rectangle. And we have a special name for that. It's called the circumference. And the way we find the circumference of a circle is we go 3.14, again, that's what we're using for pi, and we're going to multiply it by the diameter. So in this case, it was 13. So we're going to go pi times 13, and when we do that, that's going to give us the circumference, which in this case is also our distance for this rectangle. So you see we're getting 40.82 centimeters. That's that distance across. Now that's not the area though. We have to take the height, 11.5, times that circumference, and when we do that, we find out the area is 469.43. And because we're using centimeters, that's going to be centimeters squared. So what we're going to do is we're going to add up both circles and the rectangle. And so when we add up those 3 numbers, the circle, the other circle, and the rectangle, we add all those up, and that's going to give us our total surface area. So for this example right here, the total surface area is 734.76 centimeters, and it's squared. And that would be our surface area for this particular cylinder. Our next example is using the good old Pringles can. The process is the same. So first of all, we know we have to find the height. In this case, the height of our Pringle can is 8.6 centimeters. We also need to find the diameter, or the distance across the circle, which is 7.8 centimeters. And again, it's always helpful to remember there's 3 parts to this cylinder. We've got the 2 bases, both circles, and that rectangular part that wraps around the entire can. So we have to find the area of all 3 of these shapes. So we already said that the diameter was 7.8 centimeters. Well, all we have to do to find the radius is just cut it in half. So if we do that, we get 3.9. And again, that would be centimeters. So that is our radius for both of these, 3.9. So we have to find the area of the circle and also the area of the rectangle. We're going to add them up. So the area of the circle, again, is pi, and we're using 3.14, times our radius, which is 3.9, and then we're going to square it. So we'll go ahead and take pi times 3.9 squared, and when we do that, we're going to come up with the area of the circle. So in this case, it's 47.7594, and that would be centimeters squared. Well, when we go to our next part, when we have to find the area of the next circle, it's the same thing. So we can just write down, we don't have to rework the whole thing. We can just write the same area that we had for the second or the first one, and that would be for the second one. So those are the areas for both the circles. So now we're going to get into this rectangle part. That height right there of the rectangle is the same height as the Pringle can, in this case 8.6. Here's the part that, again, is usually where people mess up on. This distance for the rectangle is the same as the distance around the circle. And again, that's the circumference. So what we're going to have to do to calculate that distance of the rectangle is find the circumference. And just a quick reminder, the way we do that is it's pi, there's that 3.14 again, times the diameter. So we're going to take this times the 7.8 centimeters. That number right there, again, is not giving us the area, it's just giving us the distance for the rectangle. But we need that so we can find the area. So now the way we find the area is take that length times the height. So I usually think of it as base times height. So we multiply those two numbers together, the 24.492 and the 8.6. We multiply those together. That's going to give us the area of this rectangle. So in this example, you get 210.6312, and that's going to be centimeters squared. I think I forgot to put the little square symbol up there. So now all we're going to do is just add up the area of the circle, the area of the second circle, and the area of the rectangle. And when we do that, we get 306.15 centimeters squared. And that's our surface area of our second example. All right, our third example, our third cylinder, is the hot chocolate container. So just like before, first thing, find the diameter, which in this case 10.4. We're also going to find the height of our hot chocolate, which is 13 centimeters. So as we're getting ready to get started, again, always helpful to remember, we have three parts of the cylinder. The two bases, which are the two circles, and they're identical, and the part that wraps around, like the lateral face. And when we take it and cut it and lay it out, you can see it forms a rectangle. So we have to find the area of these three parts and add them up together. So we know the diameter again was 10.4. That means the radius is half, so it's 5.2. So our radius, writing it down, 5.2. So we're going to go pi, so that's that 3.14 again, times our radius, 5.2, and then we're going to square it. And so when we go pi times 5.2 squared, we end up with an area of 84.9056, and that would be centimeters squared. That's the area of the first circle, which means it's also the area of the second. So we're already 2/3 done with our shapes. Now we just need to find the area of this rectangle. The height of the rectangle is the same as the height of the cylinder. The part that's always tricky for most people is that rectangle. And like I said, it's the circle or the distance around. If you take your rectangle and fold it, it forms a circle. That distance is the circumference. And we get that by going pi, 3.14, times the diameter. In this case, it's 10.4. And just like before, when you get this number, it's not the area. All this is the length of the rectangle. So in this case, it's 32.656. Now we take our two numbers and multiply them together. So we're going to go 13, which is the height, times 32.656. When we do that, it's going to give us the area of this rectangle. So in this particular example, we got an area of 424.528, and that's also going to be centimeters squared. So now to get our surface area, we just add up all three of these sides, or all three of these areas. So the area of the circle, first one, the second one, and the rectangle. So when we add all these up, we're going to get our surface area. So in this example, when we do that, we get an answer of 594.3392, and that's going to be centimeter squared. So that is our surface area. Finally, one little thing I'd like to share. I came across this as a gift. It's a metric measuring tape. Used it in some of the video. Kind of cool. Most measuring tapes, when I see them, are all inches and feet. This one was centimeters and meters. So kind of a nice little gift if you're looking for that. So hopefully the video was helpful. We'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. We'd really like it if you would subscribe to the channel. And you can always visit us at thelandofmath.com. Until next time, we'll see you on The Land of Math.